Day 4 of 2025 NBA free agency is here, and on today's show, we are going to be breaking down the top available free agents for your favorite team to sign that are still available right here. Welcome into the show. Jeffrey Cooperstein here with you guys. We'll break down the entire list here in just a second, but before we do that, please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're looking for a one-stop shop for NBA, NFL, college football videos, and more, you found the right place. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. Subscribe and join the family here today. All right, let's hop right into the list here, starting with Jonathan Kuminga, the restricted free agent from the Golden State Warriors. And this Kuminga thing could drag out for a while. He is the top-rated free agent here, and he really hasn't had any. There's been no reporting of a bid for him or not. There's been some teams with reported interest, like the Chicago Bulls, like the Miami Heat. But Kuminga is someone whose free agency could last a little while, just given his status as a restricted free agent. There's no urgency on the Golden State Warriors side to come to a deal with him. And at the end of the day, I do think a one-year deal for him to return to the Warriors is absolutely on the table. I'm not sure he gets the 4 years and $30 million per season that he was looking for when free agency originally set out. So I think the Jonathan Kuminga saga could last a good bit here into 2025 NBA free agency. It may go even into mid-July, perhaps even August as far as that one goes. Josh Giddey, number 2 here on our list. Giddey, the restricted free agent from the Chicago Bulls, had a pretty good year last season after being traded from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think he's going to end up back in Chicago on a multi-year contract. Giddey is someone who can light up the stat sheet on all ends, from points, rebounds, and assists as well. He did improve his three-point shooting last season with Chicago, so I think he's going to get a pretty nice payday and stay with the Chicago Bulls. Quentin Grimes is number 3, also a restricted free agent. The rumors with Grimes were that he was wanting $25 million per season on his next contract. But now, with the Philadelphia 76ers sort of having a logjam there at the guard position, does Grimes really want to bet on himself to sign a short-term contract and return to Philadelphia, where the touches may not be as frequent as they were in the second half of the season after being traded from the Dallas Mavericks? They just drafted VJ Edgecombe in the top of the 2025 NBA draft, and alongside Tyrese Maxey, there may not be as many shot attempts for Quentin Grimes to go around as there were last year, so I could see his dragging out a little bit as well. Maybe some team will take a flyer on him, because after the trade from the Mavs to the Sixers, he averaged almost 22 points a game, shot it very well from 3 all season, not just with the Mavericks, but with the Sixers as well. And he is a really good defensive guard as well that can guard 2s and 3s on the wing. So Quentin Grimes is a very valuable player, and I can see why he wants that $25 million a season. I'm just not sure where it comes from at this point in time. Damian Lillard, we have at number 4 on our list, and that's crazy because that shows you I'll say the thinness of this free agent class, so to speak. Damian Lillard probably going to miss the majority of the 25-26 NBA season after he tore his Achilles in April in the first round of the NBA playoffs, but there are some teams who are rumored to have interest in him, like the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Miami Heat, perhaps the Portland Trailblazers could all be interested in Lillard's services. And after he comes back from that torn Achilles, will he be able to put up the numbers that he was in his prior career? Last season, before that torn Achilles, 25 points, 7 assists, also shot it very well. One of the most clutch players in the NBA is Damian Lillard, and while he may not play this season, I think from Dame's thinking, maybe he wants a full NBA training staff to rehab his torn Achilles to full health, and so maybe he does sign a 2-year deal with somebody here in 2025 NBA free agency. Cam Thomas, I expect Thomas to go back to the Brooklyn Nets. Thomas, someone who is one of the better scorers in the league, has been over the last couple of seasons. And Thomas is a smaller guard, and there's going to be a lot of, let's say, questionable shot selection over there in Brooklyn next season if he does end up returning. Between him and Michael Porter Jr., those guys both could average 25 a night. It also might be on about 25 shots a night as well. Look, I like Cam Thomas. If a team was looking for like the most expensive point guard to come off the bench in the NBA, Cam Thomas would be that perfect guy. I don't know if he's a starting point guard on a contending team here in the NBA, but he's an electric scorer and he's a very fun player to watch. I expect him to be back at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Let me know what you guys think for today's pinned comment. Who is the best free agent left? Is it Damian Lillard? Is it Jonathan Kuminga? Is it a guy we haven't even mentioned yet? You may get hit with the YouTube ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And while that happens, go on down there and let me know who you think the best free agent remaining is. Is it big man Al Horford, who has spent the majority of his career with the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks? Horford, I believe he's like 37 or 38 now. He's still got a little left in the tank. Played in a reserve role mostly for the Celtics last season, where he averaged 9 points a game and 6 boards as well. Played in 60 games. He still is relatively healthy, and maybe a contending team could use an Al Horford to solidify their big man rotation. There was rumors about the Los Angeles Lakers, but they ended up signing DeAndre Ayton. I don't really know what Al Horford's fit is. Maybe he just ends up returning to the Celtics. Chris Paul is a name out there who I would have liked my Dallas Mavericks to sign, but they ended up signing D'Angelo Russell instead. Look, Chris Paul played 82 games last year as a 39-year-old, started all 82 games as well, averaged almost 7.5 assists a night. If you're looking for a point guard to effectively run your team, Chris Paul is still that guy. I absolutely believe he can still do that. And now there were rumors that he wanted to stay on the West Coast where his family is, return to either the Phoenix Suns or the Clippers. I believe the Milwaukee Bucks were also linked to a potential Chris Paul signing as well. I think whatever team gets Chris Paul, that team will become a better team instantly. I just really love his fit on any squad. And if you're looking for someone who can mentor your young players, who can teach them the right way to play the game, who can effectively run the team and get their best scorers in the right spots, Chris Paul is your guy. I still think he has a lot left in the tank, and you can get him for pretty affordable as well. Malcolm Brogdon, another guard who is available. Brogdon was limited to just 24 games last year, dealt with a bunch of injuries, and then in the beginning of March, Brogdon and the Wizards mutually agreed to shut it down for the rest of the season to protect his value in free agency. I don't know what Brogdon's market really is. I think he's going to come off the bench as a guy who can score, who can assist a little bit, and still shoot a very high level from three. Now, he didn't shoot very well last season at all, but again, that was a very limited sample size. But I do think that he could be of value to a team, and I expect him to go to a team fighting for a playoff position, whether it be in the East or the Western Conference. Mo Wagner is out there as a big man as well from Orlando. His his brother Franz, who signed a max deal with Orlando last offseason, had a very good year, and I expected Mo to be back in Orlando, but I'm really not sure that they're going to be able to do that now with their acquisition of Desmond Bane and all of the other moves that they have made. I don't know if he ends up back there, so I think Mo Wagner might be on the move elsewhere. Maybe you could still look at a team like the Lakers who are in need of a backup center to try to sign and maybe trade for Mo Wagner or something like that. But I do think that he has a market in the league just because of his ability to do multiple things on the offensive and defensive end. Be on the lookout for him. And then Russell Westbrook as well is an unrestricted free agent after his season in Denver. What is the Brody's market here? I thought he had a pretty solid season in Denver, and to be honest, I think over the last couple of years, Westbrook has really done a good job of reinventing himself as a reserve guard who can either start or come off the bench and play a role for a team. I never thought that Russell Westbrook's ego would allow him to be able to be a guy who could come off the bench. I figured he'd want to be a starter his entire career, but he proved me wrong, and he has proved valuable to a bunch of teams that are in winning situations, just like the Denver Nuggets were last year. So would a team like, I'm not going to say the Oklahoma City Thunder, but could he return to the Clippers who are looking to win? Could he go somewhere in the East like the New York Knicks who need a backup point guard as well? I could see Russell Westbrook joining a team that has a serious chance to do some damage in the playoffs. We'll get to the second half of the list here in just a moment, but we do have your rookie jerseys available now. Shout out to Fanatics for sponsoring this episode of NBA Now by Chat Sports. We have Cooper Flagg. We have Con Kneppel. All of your favorite rookies we have available right now when you go to chatsports.com/NBA jersey. And when you use that link that's on your screen right there and in the comments and description of today's show, Fanatics will send us a part of the proceeds as well. So you're supporting the channel while getting your favorite rookie jersey on sale now with our friends at Fanatics at chatsports.com/NBA jersey. Shout out to them. Go get yourself hooked up. The 25-26 NBA season is just around the corner. Chris Boucher, the versatile forward who played all of his career in Toronto up to this point. I like Chris Boucher. He can play the 4 and the 5, a pretty good defender as well. He's more of an around the rim player, not really going to stretch it out and shoot effectively from 3, but I've always kind of liked Chris Boucher, and he had better years than the one he had last season. I do think he could be a positive contributor on a winning team. So I don't know if he gets a multi-year deal at this point. I kind of think that everybody still remaining on this list is looking at 1 to 2 year deals at the max. I think Boucher is a solid player, man. Like, he stands at about, I want to say it's like 6'9", 6'10", and he has played the 5 before in multiple circumstances with Toronto. So I could see him either re-signing in Toronto or maybe going westward to a team that needs center help, again, like the Los Angeles Lakers. Amir Coffey, who had a really solid season with the Los Angeles Clippers last year, is still on the market. I think he'll end up returning to the Clippers. Coffey, a guy who majority plays the 3. He played the 3 this last season with the Clippers. I think he could probably still play the 2 if a team wanted to make him that. So Amir Coffey, a guy who probably ends up taking the taxpayer mid-level around $5.7 million or so. Gary Payton as well on the list. Gary Payton's time in the NBA is I think pretty much coming to an end. Still a decent defender, okay 3-point shooter, doesn't do much else besides that as well. I like Gary Payton. He's a 10th or 11th man on the bench. I don't think you want him in a 10-man rotation to be playing anywhere at this point. So I would probably pass on Gary Payton if I were a team trying to be a win-now squad, but that's just my opinion. D'Anthony Melton, also a free agent. He tore his ACL last season. I think he's going to be ready for the beginning of the 25-26 NBA season. Played last year with the Warriors. Played pretty well as well before he tore that ACL. Was traded to Brooklyn where he did not play and now finds himself on the market again. Our Warriors host Tyler Smith seems to think that there is a reunion on the horizon between D'Anthony Melton and the Warriors, so stay tuned for that. Ben Simmons comes in at number 15, the former max player and number 1 overall pick from the Philadelphia 76ers. I do think that some team is going to sign Ben Simmons just because of his versatility. The guy's 7 feet. He can play as a point guard. He can play as a forward. He can even play center in some lineups. The New York Knicks have reportedly checked in on Ben Simmons, and that could be a potential option for them. He just fits in seamlessly with any team just because he can play a variety of roles. And if you have a guy like Ben Simmons coming off the bench who can handle the ball, he can defend truly 1 through 5, and he can do some good things rebounding as well, I think Simmons could be a piece for anybody going forward. Cody Martin, the twin brother of Caleb Martin, is also on the list. There have been a couple teams who have checked in on Cody Martin. I kind of think that his free agency will drag out as well. Just with the other forward options on the market, I really don't see Cody Martin being at that high on some priority lists. I know the Miami Heat had rumored interest in Cody Martin, where they did have his twin brother Caleb, so maybe that helps him out a little bit, and they're just trying to get the discount version there. Trey Lyles coming in at number 17. Lyles, the versatile forward formerly of the Utah Jazz. I think Lyles at 6'10", could do some pretty good things for a team like, I'm going to call my shot right now. I think Trey Lyles is the Sacramento King. He's played there before, and I think he's going to go back there again. Give me Trey Lyles to the Sacramento Kings. Jaxson Hayes had a kind of a tough season there with the Los Angeles Lakers last year. Now, the second half of the year, he did play a little bit better alongside Luka because they were able to open up the pick and roll, able to get him a couple of lobs at the rim. So he did improve in the second half of the year, but he did get played basically off the floor in the playoffs. JJ Redick decided to go with no bigs, overplaying Jaxson Hayes in that lineup. So maybe that hurt his value a little bit. I think he's a backup center in this league. Could he return to the Los Angeles Lakers? Keep an eye on that one. Precious Achiuwa coming in at number 19, played last year with the New York Knicks, and he was overly relied on by Tom Thibodeau, I think, personally. I like Precious Achiuwa, but when you're playing him 25 minutes a night, I don't think you're getting the best value. You want to limit Achiuwa to 15 to 20 minutes. Decent rebounder. You can't play him as a center, though. This guy is a 4 through and through. Just don't make the same mistake Tom Thibodeau did, as making him that team's backup center. And then another New York Knick coming in with the final number 20 is Delon Wright. He's been a journeyman in this league now ever since his failed stint with the Dallas Mavericks, and he really hasn't found a home look, Delon Wright is a fine point guard. He can kind of, if you give him a 40-minute game, he can fill up the stat sheet a little bit, as he's a decent passer, also can kind of score going downhill, not a great three-point shooter, okay defender as well. I think Delon Wright for a veteran minimum could go to some team and help them out. Shout out your favorite team and tell me who you want them to sign down there in the comment section. Let me know who your favorite team is, and if you want them to sign a free agent that we talked about, name them down there below. That will be it for today's show, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in to NBA Now by Chat Sports. We will be live later today breaking down the latest free agency news and rumors, so please hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you know when we go live.